From right here, we could see the 3 greenhouses that we built. These 2 are the Growspan. The small Growspan, I think, is a 30 by about 50, and then the large Growspan is a 30 by 100. And this one is definitely engineered more for that higher snow load that you would see up here in the mountains. This one has a lot of heating inside, so hopefully keeps up with the snow load. We have our doubts, but it really is a fun little greenhouse for propagation. The main systems you could just see out here is on top of the small Growspan is a weather station, and that weather station helps regulate the systems to know, okay, this is what the temperature is outside. I can start preparing for the inside temperature, which inevitably will change, especially for nighttime or wind. That's another thing that is considered is wind speed for when vents are open, for example. When the wind is high enough, those vents better close, or you're probably going to start bumping out pads out of your cooling wall. Also, there's 2 heat pumps. That's an electrical way to heat efficiently. A lot of times greenhouses will use like a gas heater. In this case, heat pumps are on each greenhouse. I'm really excited to see how that goes. The systems here are very robust. They all link together, and they all link to Starlink, actually, which is on this barn. So all that data goes straight to Austin all the time. He can control everything. It's a really cool setup he's got. All right, go ahead. So you definitely didn't plant them all. But you can see they're still wonderfully green. It's been freezing temperatures up here. I mean, they're definitely dying. They're probably not being watered or taken care of much at this point of the year. A lot of the ones that have been planted are doing well in that bigger Agra-Tech greenhouse. But this is his propagation greenhouse. You know, he's got all these tables. He'll put out his trays, water pretty heavily on top, and let them sprout before he brings them out. He did put an internal shade that's fixed, and he's got the cooling wall that comes through as well as a louver vent up above. And what's kind of fun is you can see these fin-shaped pipes. Those are heaters, basically. They radiate heat so that the polycarbonate warms up and melts off all the snow as it lands. So pretty cool. You can see the setup that they've been doing is very involved. It's in fact connected to the concrete as well, which also has radiant heat. A lot of radiant heat in these greenhouses, whether it's root zone or in the concrete. What you won't see in here are much other heaters. Like nothing, no like heating unit. It's all going to be coming from these fins or down in the ground. Let's go walk over to the large Growspan. Take a peek in there. So this is the large Growspan, and we've got the shade system retracted, half fans, we've got the cooling wall, a ridge vent, the pretty typical type of systems you would see in a greenhouse like this. One of the things that might be good to show based on our conversation earlier is exactly how this greenhouse is on the foundation. It's within an ICF forms, the insulated concrete forms. And then we bolted each column down to the ground. And the way that these are supposed to drain water, these columns are all the same size. But then we space the bottom with plates. And you actually space from the middle going out. So this greenhouse actually is tallest over on the middle of the greenhouse, and then it drops down each direction, which is different than the Agra-Tech, which we actually had to slope by the column. I mean, the same exact systems that, and you can see like the bigger version of what we saw in the small Growspan is also over here, except for now it's going into the dirt. So if you were to go down about 18 inches, you'll find just a grid of pipe. It's actually amazing to know, having seen it go in, that there's all this pipe in the ground that helps heat up this greenhouse. And I really wonder what it would feel like to be standing in here wondering why it's so warm.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Right now it's just warm because of the sun.
Yeah, right now it's, yeah, the sun's out, so we're baking a little bit, but yeah. So this Agra-Tech greenhouse is, I think, a 34 by 84.
I thought 40 by 90.
Maybe 40 by 90. I don't know, it's been a while since I had to know. This is where he currently has his tomatoes growing. The Agra-Tech was pretty fun to build. The foundation is kind of notable, which is we have the columns wet set in the concrete, and then we have the ICF going between each sonotube. And that's not typical. Usually you'll have either sonotubes or you'll have the ICF foundation like we did over there. This was an engineering situation where we didn't have time to re-engineer it and had to follow what the engineers wanted us to do. But what is kind of cool is this truss spacing is every 6 feet. So it's really heavy on the framing. The Growspan is more like a 10-foot spacing. And Agra-Tech did that so that you could have a really strong snow load up here. What it also means is our 6-foot wide panels just easily follow the truss. And so it's super easy to install because we basically found the center of the truss, threw on our base plates for the polycarbonate and threw the polycarbonate on. It was really fast that way. This cooling wall here has a big louver vent that opens, and that air is sucked through those pads and into the greenhouse through. It's really dry up here, but also gets pretty hot, which is perfect for cooling down with a cooling wall like this. It was just really easy to build. I mean, not that it was much easier than the Growspan, probably. If we were to be the guys we are right now, it might not make a lot of difference, but when we did build it, it felt really intuitive. The plans were really nice. Yeah, we really liked building this structure. You can see on the end wall, if you look, the framing that goes up and over and down, that's the shade system. And that shade system's actually clear up into the truss, where the shade system on the Growspan is more of a flat shade system. This is a lot more work, but it's also just cool. It makes it feel like the roof is way up above you inside there, and as opposed to kind of like right on top of you. It does have an energy curtain as opposed to the shade system in the Growspan. That's an option that allows for heat to be insulated as though it's a blanket kind of over top of the plants. So that's a really nice feature that this greenhouse came with, as well as a pretty standard ridge vent. And it's already growing in there. It's super green, it's beautiful. It's kind of fun to look at from out here because you can see all the greenery in there, just like the hue of green.
Yeah.
It's really pretty. Yeah, I love Agra-Tech. Buy more Agra-Tech.
Let's build it.
Yeah, let us build it. Also, let us build your Growspan. We don't know Growspan as well. Buy a whole farm. In fact, buy all the brands. Have us build each brand individually on the property, and let us rate. well, let's talk about what's not lame, which is Agra-Tech. Agra-Tech's cool.
Let me teach you something.
Oh wow, it's all sorts of. Don't watch me do that.